I need you backing me up. It won't just be me against Ty.
It might be. I'll have to see which one of you makes a better argument, and then I'll have to side with that person so that I can be part of the majority. Well, I guess if I side with you, I am part of the majority anyway, but I get to choose.
Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Christensen. I love you, son. That was the fastest turnaround in a relationship I've ever seen. Okay, we've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
Yeah, karma's a B.
And we've got Nick on the pod.
Shall we begin? Boom.
Dude, okay, can we just talk about William Dafoe was the perfect choice. I gotta say, he is, like, before they even, like, just the casting call, before they even started, like...
Yeah, in fact, I heard they'd use William Dafoe because they needed very little CGI to make him as scary as really in this movie.
That's horrible. You're bad.
Real life William Dafoe is scarier than the actual
He
Green
does
Goblin,
play well
so.
as the demon. I thought so too.
He does. He does.
Yeah, he does it well.
For sure. Guys, today we're discussing Death Note. Death Note.
I thought you were going to do his scream, Ty, when he first sees William Dafoe. Ryuk.
That was awesome.
Pretty funny. So, this movie came out in 2017, and I'm so disappointed that it was a movie. I thought this was going to be a live-action
TV series, yeah, me too.
Or a miniseries, so...
That was their first
Very
mistake,
disappointed.
yeah.
That was the first mistake, and I was really disappointed. So, like, this is Netflix we're talking about here. It would have been so easy to make this like a 10-episode. Anyway, whatever. So it was directed by Adam Wingard.
Ooh, my boy.
You may know him from other things that he's pretty famous for.
The Guest. Oh, you're next. Are you kidding me?
I personally, The Guest, Godzilla vs. Kong. I think he did the...
Well, yeah, but Godzilla vs. Kong wasn't good.
Yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong.
That wasn't good.
The fights were cool, but that's about it.
I didn't see that one. I meant, but what's the other one that he did? He did, didn't he do the...
He did the Blair Witch.
Did he not do the, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. I can't think of it. I thought he did the other Kong movie, Kong Skull Island. Did he not do that?
No. That's the guy that did Kings of Summer.
Oh, that's right. I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm getting my directors confused. But yes, The Guest with... And then You're Next. That was the other movie I was thinking of, The Guest and You're Next.
The Guest is great, though.
And You're Next was good. Have you seen that one, Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those
two are
great.
both
I
really fun.
turned Nick on to be an Adam fan, dude.
Adam, what up?
We're going to get into the series. It stars Nat Wolff, who I really like. I like this actor. I think he's the kid from Hereditary, right? Is that the same Wolf kid?
No, that's his brother.
Oh, it's his brother. See, they look
They
so
look,
much alike. It's
they almost
crazy.
look like twins. It's hilarious.
They really do, but one has the mole, right? He doesn't have the mole.
Yeah, he doesn't have it.
Ah, he doesn't have the mole. That's how you tell them apart, folks. Yeah. His brother was in Hereditary, and holy crap, do they look alike. It also stars Lakeith Stanfield, our boy from Get Out. Get out, man.
Ty, do you know what my wife said from the main character's bleached hair? I'm like, oh, he's not as smart as the anime version. She's like, well, he can't be that smart if he bleached his hair. But I love it.
It also stars Margaret Qualley, Shea Wingham, William Dafoe, Jason Lyles, Paul Nakuchi, Jack Edingler, Chris Britton, and a few others.
His dad, it's kind of fun to see him as a detective in this one and in Joker. He's kind of like the whole vigilante stuff. I love it.
Yeah, I really like Shea Wingham. I think he's a really good actor. I just think that it's, like I said, you rush this movie, you could have fleshed out a few more characters.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It's like so rushed.
My
Everyone's
original quote,
relationship.
Ty, was going to be him chewing on a candy, just... That was my one, that drove me nuts. I was just like, please close your mouth while you eat.
Of course that would bother you. That's so funny.
Drove me nuts.
So, let's get into this movie. A quick plot synopsis of this movie. It says, a high school student named Light Turner discovers a mysterious notebook that has the power to kill anyone whose name is written within its pages, and launches a secret crusade to rid the world of criminals.
Yes.
I don't think of this as a vigilante movie, though. Like,
Really?
no, I don't.
Yeah, no.
But I know it does have those elements, but I think of this as Final Fantasy meets every high school
Definitely
movie ever.
Final Fantasy, yes.
No, not Final
Very
Fantasy, Final
Final
Destination.
Final Destination, that's
I'm
right.
sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. See, I'm an idiot. Yeah, Final Very different things here, folks. Yeah, we're referring
Final
to Final
Destination,
Destination. But
yes.
see, you knew what I was talking about too, Nick.
I did.
Yeah. I don't even play Final Fantasy or know much about it, but I know enough about it to know
I knew it was
that
one of
that is
those
exactly
two variations.
The opposite of what I meant to say.
It's
Yes,
one of those two
exactly,
variations.
exactly.
Final something.
Someone is listening is throwing their chair through the window.
But I did like that.
Yeah,
I did like the deaths were definitely in that type
Yes.
of
Final-
slow motion.
Especially that first death where the all the like
my
elements,
word.
like the basketball gets in the way, the lady runs in front of the car, and the car like
Ladder comes
Right.
shooting out the
and
car.
chopping
the
his head off.
completely
I'm like, that's
unrealistic
totally-
deaths, just like, wow. One in a quadrillion would that happen, and
Yeah.
Right. Well, which is one of my gripes with this thing. I want to talk to you guys about that. Okay. So, but let's get into what was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast. Let's start with you, Jordan.
Yes. Okay. Before we lose all credibility, and people like Ty said, throw their chairs and lose their minds because I love this movie. The reason being, like, I am not comparing it to the original, so I get it.
We have all seen the anime.
Yeah,
I have
and
not
it's
seen
incredible.
the anime.
Oh, Nick
Well,
has
Nick has-
and I'm
which
not
I'm
going
actually-
to.
I'm
not
glad
going to.
he hasn't, because that'll actually give a kind of different viewpoint of it, which is fun too.
And before
So
all of you
the
hate
reason-
me for not liking anime, you can take it. Get someone else with it.
Nick, what anime have you seen? Have you seen any
I
anime?
don't know, man.
Probably Dragon Ball Z, right? Or Pokemon?
Yeah, sure, when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can consider those anime. I've seen Spirited Away, and I've seen Princess Mononoke, and then Death Note. Those are the 3 animes I've ever seen. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan. Is there another one I'm missing?
Well, you're missing a couple good ones, but so this
Well,
one.
no. I'm saying, have I seen any other anime? Did
You
show me any other anime?
started One Punch Man, but you haven't finished it yet.
I did start One Punch Man, but
Yeah.
I didn't finish it. But that's all the anime I've ever seen, Nick. And I will say, Death Note, if you like detective stories, it's one of the best cat and mouse.
Yes,
I've
and
seen in a long time.
it's an amazing
Very fun.
film noir. It's
And that's why it's weird that we're talking about this movie because anyway. Well,
no,
get into it, Jordan.
Well,
What was it
like I said, the reason I loved it the first time watching it is because I've seen the other films that Adam Wingard made. So when I saw that he was making this, I'm like, oh shoot! Like I wish this is the biggest mistake he made, and I'd actually kind of like to get into this. Is I feel like films today can't get made unless they take the IP right from. I think he would have just made a really fun slasher flick, but because he needs to use IP to get a big budget, to make a big budgeted Hollywood film, that's kind of the only way, right? Or would you disagree with that?
No, you're right. There is something to be said about IP. I mean, it has to be a property that everyone knows. Like, I mean, why is Jumanji still around? Why is
Yeah, I mean, even though
any
they
Avengers movie with Marvel slapped on it? Like,
yeah, and
everything has to come from something, or it's like a small independent, film. But
yeah, and I'm okay as long as they give it to a fun director like Adam Wingard. I think he was a fun director. I think they should have changed the names. I think that would have changed this film like fundamentally if his name wasn't L and Light. Like if they just changed that and put it in the same universe, I think it would have like made it, because that's how I looked at it. I just didn't compare, because as soon as you compare, you're like, oh boy, this is
I should have done more research before seeing it. So my first experience watching this, I thought they were going to do a live action TV series or a 10-episode Netflix thing.
Yeah,
I
me
heard it was on
too.
Netflix, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to have like a streaming 1 episode every week of Death Note of live action. Sign me up. I love the anime. I watched the anime twice. Actually, so the people on this show, I won't spoil it, but I watched the anime twice halfway through.
Yes.
There's a certain
And-
character
yeah.
and a change in the whole show where I kind of tune out afterwards. So it's a halfway through.
well, when they
I
introduced N, you're just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, when they introduced this new character, N, I didn't really care for him. So I loved the first 20 episodes of Death Note, and I watched them twice. So I watched the first
Same.
20 episodes.
I don't even think I finished
of Death
it,
Note
Ty.
twice. I still have not
Yeah, me
finished
neither.
Death Note, the anime. Still love the first 20 episodes. I loved them.
It's almost a masterpiece.
I truly loved
It's
it.
so
Yeah.
good.
But it's unfortunate because I still have not yet finished the TV show, and I don't really have any desire to. So, but I still think the first 20 episodes are a perfect story,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun. You could have ended this series there, and I'm totally fine. And from what I have on good faith from my brother, he says that you're not really missing out on much. The TV show ends kind of weird. So.
Oh, Grant, yeah.
But ultimately, I was so disappointed when I found out this was just a movie. I thought for sure
Yeah.
that this was going to be a full series where they could dive into all the complexities and the relationships. And then I was like, it's a 1 hour and 27-minute movie or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a
Or
tight
41.
movie.
It's like an hour and 41 minutes, but it's like you have so much to explore. Like the world of Death Note, the rules of the Notebook, like the relationships of everyone, the Light's transition from, normal high schooler to sociopath, demigod. Like, and it's all done in the span of an hour and 40 minutes. Like, give me a break. Like, I'm sorry, I was so disappointed, and this movie it suffers drastically.
No, but you
from that because-
okay. I mean, it's kind of funny though because you did enjoy it the first time. I remember, but then you changed your mind because all of a sudden you started hearing reviews and you're like, "Oh, I got to be with the rest of the crowd," which is hilarious. Because I know
that
you,
sounds like a
you
Thai
usually
thing. That sounds like
pride
maybe a
yourself
Thai
in being
thing,
different,
possibly.
but this time you were
What are
like,
you talking
"I'm
about?
just
kidding,
go with
Ty.
the rest of the crowd."
Dude, no. I love to be fueled by hate. Like, take my reviews on The Last Jedi. I still stand by it's one of the worst Star Wars movies of all time. And so
yeah,
is
but when you first walked
The
out, you
Last
didn't have
Skywalker.
that feeling until you like thought more
No,
about
no,
it.
yeah,
and-
I was seriously conflicted. I'm like, I don't know why. And then other people put it into words. I'm like, thank you. That's exactly why I hated it.
And I get
But-
it. It was the same with this movie, but I still think there was things to enjoy about it.
The
I
reviews
mean,
were terrible.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying there's nothing to enjoy about this film. I'm
No.
saying I was just disappointed
Yes.
largely because I mean, if you come up watching the anime, and like I have at least the first 20 episodes, it's so cool. Like I love this world. I love the idea, the concept. Again, I can't watch anime because I don't understand everyone's threshold for like danger. It's just like watching an Avengers movie. Like you have Scarlett Johansson who has no superpowers, or Jeremy Renner. And they're just running around. There's like giant aliens, and they swat Thor across like a building, and he flies through 18 different window panes. And then but Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, or Jeremy
Or
Renner,
even Ty, they
Hawkeye, are able
die,
to fight
and then
hand
they
to
bring
hand
them
with
back.
these aliens, or they just die and come back.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like I don't know what the stakes are because everyone can get punched through a wall and everyone's fine.
There are none because they
What I
can just
really
always
like-
bring them back.
There's no stakes. And this movie, the TV show did a really good job at elevating the stakes because you understood the rules of the Notebook, and Light was continually pushing the envelope, continuously pushing
Yeah,
the
and
boundaries.
we'll
trying
get
to
into the TV
around.
series later on another
Yes.
episode.
Anyway, so this one was a real painful watch because I just ultimately I love Jordan thinks that I'm like some bandwagoner. I just was so disappointed just finding out it wasn't a whole TV show. It's too rushed. You can't tell this story in an hour.
Okay, I can agree with you on that.
Well, you would be
Okay,
part of the
so-
majority on that one.
Yeah, just ultimately disappointed. I think everyone else wanted more of it. Like, it's not like Adam Wingard's an incredibly competent director, and I think he could have really made a great. Probably had a vision where this movie was like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something, and they're like, gotta cut it down. It's got to be digestible, and it's like just make it 10 episodes. Everyone will watch it. Everyone at least heard of the anime, even if you haven't watched it. You're like, oh, I've heard of it.
I haven't.
And the concept's
I haven't.
simple.
No,
A Death
only
Note.
nerds
It's
have
a
heard of
notebook
it.
in which you could write someone's name in and they
Nerds have
die.
heard about
Perfect. Very easy concept.
Like I
And
said,
that's
this
why-
should have been a spin-off movie, and I think that's how I look at it, and I love it. It feels like a Final Destination. It has all the parts
Yeah.
I like and a good slasher flick. So
See, and Jordan, you guys said the bandwagon. See, I don't care that it's a white dude. I don't give a rat's butt if it's a white or if it's a black. I don't care. But see, they're all like, oh, whitewashing. This was right after The Ghost in the Shell came out with Scarlett Johansson. Speaking of her again, this movie came out, The Ghost in the Shell, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're whitewashing these movies. But they put white actors in these, traditionally Korean or these comic books that are like Japanese or Korean. And I'm like, who gives a shiz? Like, it's for an American audience, so it's got American people in it. They speak English. Again, Squid Game was proof that you could still have popular IP here. If you want to make Squid Game, everyone's going to watch it in America, even though they literally point fun at fat, lazy Americans wearing golden masks. Entertain me with your death. I'm just saying, I don't hate it for the reasons that everyone else does.
all right,
right?
I want to hear Nick's
Okay,
opinion.
so I just had to
about
get that out of the way because you guys are like, I'm bandwagon hating on it, and I'm not. Okay.
Well, I
So,
was
Nick-
kidding, but yes, you guys, I suppose. Jordan, I love
Nick,
your.
what was it like watching it the first time and watching it for the podcast?
I love your whole spiel you just got into. That was great. I got lost there for about 5 minutes. I was going to say something, but I couldn't find my way back in. I'm like, where is he going? But anyway, luckily for me, I didn't know anything about Death Note, never heard about it. In fact, Jordan was the one that told me about it. He was like, I think we were scrolling through movies when he was here, and he was like, oh, have you seen Death Note? And I'm like, no. He's like, do you know what that is? I'm like, no. He's like, oh, you're going to love it. I'm like, okay. So he puts it on, and it was on Netflix, of course. And I'm like, oh, it's been on Netflix. I didn't even know. And I watched it, and I think the first time, man, I absolutely loved it. I'm like, oh, this movie's pretty sick, man, because, again, not knowing anything about the anime, not knowing about the history of it or what it came from. And actually, I've read a few reviews that kind of say that, too. Is like, well, if you saw the anime, you wouldn't like this, but if you knew nothing about it, maybe you might like this. And that was me.
Yeah.
I did like it because I didn't know anything else about the whatever. So, yeah, I thought it was crazy. William Dafoe as the demon, awesome. The whole ending, and Adam Wingard's endings are just great. The second time watching it, still really liked it. I think for a second there, I'm like, could there have been a better voice for the demon god? I'm like, oh, but probably not. No, I think William.
Morgan Freeman.
Maybe.
Whose name you write upon this notebook? I can't do Morgan Freeman. That's my best impression of him. On the Penguin's Long Walk of the Arctic.
He went from god to a demon god.
I was just saying for iconic voices, right? Or I'll tell you what. I'm terrified of J.K. Simmons right now. We just watched Whiplash and Invincible. I feel like he could have been kind of a stern, scary, but he doesn't have the creepy, raspy factor.
Yeah.
Like, William Dafoe was perfect.
He was
literally, it's like you don't even have to try hard.
Yeah.
You don't even have to put any filters over his voice. You can get that creepy pitch just right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it was good both times. Had me getting closer to the TV. That's how you know if I like a movie. Jordan will contest. If I get up
when Nick is pacing, if he stands up and paces.
If I start pacing, stand up, or get close, that's when you know I'm like interested, you know. And there's not very many movies that make me do that. Sometimes I'm just like, but the ending is great. We'll get more into that later because that's just for me Adam Wingard's specialty is his endings, especially in the guest,
Yes, in the guest.
With the last line.
Yeah, let's get into two of our favorite things from this show or this movie. Jordan, why don't you start us off? Two of your favorite things.
Oh, there's so many little things I love about it. So I would have to get first into the music. I just think
stole my number one.
Oh man,
no, it's okay. Just keep going with it. Keep rolling with it. Good thing I have so many things I love.
Okay, it just has that like 80s vibes. Like I just love that. It kind of has like a John Carpenter-esque feel to it. I kind of love it feels like not noir, what's the word? It's cyberpunk. It's kind of got all the like colors and stuff of that. And then the second thing I love, and I absolutely love, is the violence. Obviously, like the gore is great. I never get sick of somebody's head getting chopped off by a ladder and blood splattering all over some chick. Mm-hmm. It's just great. I do have a nitpick though about killing out the bully. Like I didn't quite. His moral line is a bit.
Yeah, you know, if you're picked on by school, you deserve to be decapitated. It's as simple as that.
Well, he just said. I mean, the demon was trying to prove a point. He's like, I got to weed out the weak from the strong type of situation. This is a great way to do that, I suppose. This will tell you right away who can handle and who can't.
Are you talking about as an audience member? Like, are you disgusted by the death? Or are you saying, like, Ryuk had to figure out whether Light was willing to murder
Well, that's what the demon, that's why he had that's why he had the guy decapitated. The demon pushed him into that, you know, seeing how he would react. That was his first play into it, so he had to go bold,
right.
You know. It's not really about the
that's
line.
That's a good point, yeah.
Technically, he was a bad guy.
How squeamish he was, yeah.
You know, you could play it off like he was a bad guy, and if I didn't get him now, he would have gotten worse. I mean, if you want to wrap it around with logic, I suppose, you know.
Nick, I gotta say, I am terrified in a world in which you possess.
Oh, if I had that, oh yeah, you better be scared, man. If I had that book, I would raise some.
But Ty, I'm penciling. I'm penciling in your name real quick.
I got quite an imagination with my love of Final Destination. I'd come up with some cool scenarios. I get 2 days to influence. It's gonna be a long 2 days. Let me tell you what.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Oh, that's great.
Brilliant. Nick, what are your two favorite things from this movie?
Well, of course, the music. And I think, too, for the music, it just went well with the scenes that were showing. I thought that music was just great for that.
Not just the score, but the song choices.
Yeah,
there's some great songs in there.
Exactly. It all just kind of worked well. And I think that's kind of another thing that Adam Wingard does, because that's in a few of his other movies, like The Guest, like those, you know, it's the music. Yes. He's got certain type of music in it. And I made that comment to you, Jordan, multiple times. Pretty much after all of them, I'm like, the music, man, just works. You know?
Oh, well, and that song they play as she's falling to her death, like, I was laughing hysterically.
Well, see, that's what that's my nitpick, and you guys are getting right into it.
Oh, it's hilarious.
The music choice, it's so out of
I don't know,
it's
man.
So
I don't
funny.
think so. I think it just works. I think it works, actually.
I think it works. I think it's so funny.
That's so funny that you say it works. I was laughing.
I was too.
I don't think we're supposed to be laughing at when she's falling to her death. I don't know. Maybe we are. Like, I was like,
no, it's okay. It all works. It all comes together.
You guys are so crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other part, Ty, that was laughing hysterically was when he's like singing a song. Yo, he starts singing Wizard of Oz. Great. Yes.
Oh, brother.
And obviously the second thing I liked the most was again coming back to the ending. that really just what brought it together for me. I did feel like the movie was rushed, but again, not knowing anything about the movie, yes, I think it could have been a good 10-part series. I think that would have been pretty awesome. And I did remember saying that to myself, man, it's kind of skips ahead. I feel like we're missing a whole section right from when he gets the book,
Big.
and I'm like, you're looking, it happened really quickly.
Where's the moral quandary?
Right.
There's not. He's like, great, now I can kill the people. This is that terrifying kid in class, or that movie, Adam Sandler with Steve Buscemi. He's got this list of kids in high school that used to bully him, and he's like, people that he used to go murder and get revenge on, and then Billy Madison calls him up and he's like, hey, I'm sorry I used to bully you in school, and then he crosses his name off the list and then proceeds to put lipstick on it. That's light in this movie. Yeah. He's always been a serial killer, and he finally gets the power to be a serial killer.
I don't know so much him, but the girl he's dating, she is.
And the girl.
The girl is crazy. Why are we not talking about her?
Sociopath.
Yes.
Why are we not talking more about her? She was the.
I want to get into her.
See, okay, so Nick, again, just real quick, her character in the TV show has her own Ryuk character that's following her around. So she has her own death book note, and she's been killing people of her own.
Wow.
So see, that's the thing. And so in this show, it's like, oh no, I'm just waiting for a boyfriend that's as manic, as psychotic as I am. That gives me the power to kill people. We can be gods of this world. It's like,
well, in the short amount of time they had to cut that part out.
Yes, they did.
However,
they had to cut all this out.
However, it did point to the just the single Rayo, whatever. He did. Right. He was speaking to her. It sounded like they made suggestions in the movie that he did maybe speak to her. Because you remember when Light was sitting in the kitchen and he saw the bitten apple right after she left? He was there. Because that apple, he didn't talk to him before that. You have to look back. He was sitting down, she had just left, and there was a bitten apple there.
Ty, did they change some of the rules? Because I thought if she just touches the Death Note, then she can see Ryuk. But
yes.
He said only the holder.
He might have been
it.
lying. I think he influenced her. I think he did.
I think he was actually lying too quite a bit because
of course.
He was from the get-go, was don't trust Ryuk. I love
and that is a nitpick, but I thought you couldn't write his name in the book. Because he says...
You can, but he says he kills them before they get a chance to finish it.
Yeah, before they get all... But was all 4 on there when they were showing it?
Oh, didn't it say don't trust Ryuk? And it said that.
Yeah, and I was like, then Ryuk said the most anybody's ever gotten is 2. I'm like, well, wait a minute, there was 4. Your whole name was written out there as the warning on the side. He even pointed it out. Didn't make any sense.
And isn't it if you write somebody's name, they die? How did that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, I know. So again, what's really interesting, and that's one of my things that I really like, are the rules of the Death Note. If you go to the TV series, each commercial break, they always show you a rule, and quite often it has to do with that episode. But there's a whole list, and you can go online and find the whole list of all the Death Note rules. But again, they just had to gloss over for all these rules for time. And so, like you said, Nick, I'm not even certain whether or not...
Oh, and
because in this universe, they don't address it. So whether or not they're just going to go off of the actual rules from the anime, or you only have the rules what we learn in this movie, there's very few rules that we actually learn about.
Well, and the rules, I feel like he kind of I'm a little confused about it. For example, he says,
too.
You can't get a shark attack in the toilet. Okay, well then why... Because the reporter said they wrote in perfect Japanese on the wall his name, Kira. And I'm like, how could they write in Japanese unless they knew Japanese? I thought they couldn't do anything that wasn't possible, right?
Well, I mean, that's not, I think more of that case, you just can't have sharks in a toilet. That's just not gonna...
Yeah, Jordan, you can't manipulate matter, but you can have somebody draw something that they don't understand.
Yeah, because they're controlling them anyway, so...
Jordan, a ladder decapitated someone in this movie, okay? I don't know why you think, how could he know Japanese if he doesn't know Japanese? A shark can't appear in a toilet, but a ladder can fall from a truck and decapitate you, okay?
It can.
That's the thing, Jordan, you're right. The rules are dumb in this movie. I'm sorry. I love the rules. I love all the rules from the TV show because it always grounded the show, and it added a level of heightened intensity, because it was oh my gosh, he's trying to get ahead of this really smart detective, cat and mouse, and they're just playing at odds with one another, and somehow this guy totally is convinced that it's light, and it's so fun to watch them banter banter back and forth. And in this one, it's like
If you think too hard about it, yes, it starts to be like, oh, geez.
Well, and again, to be fair, I never got the feeling of the final destination except in this movie. I really did. Because in the end, it was like, okay, this guy has to die somehow. If you don't specify how it's going to happen, it's going to be some Rube Goldberg project that's going around, and then boom, decapitation. Like, out of the craziest, implausible way possible. But I guess no one could possibly link that to, like, like a homicide, right?
It's an
like,
accident.
A ladder came flying off that truck. Yeah, it's like, it's an act of God. And it's like, is that going to happen every day? People are going to be like, accidents happen all the time. What made you think it was murder? And they were like living in the town of Hot Fuzz, dude. So anyway, crazy. And my second favorite thing is I think William Dafoe's character Ryuk was great, and there's laughable moments. Like we mentioned, my favorite scene is just falling from the Ferris wheel. To his credit, he's acting really great. He's yelling frantically, but there's like this 80 love ballad song that comes on.
It's perfect.
I don't know
it's
why.
Awesome.
So funny.
It's great.
I loved it. Great choice.
And you're like, well, and then as she's falling, you feel no pity for her. Actually, I remember I was getting really mad at her. I'm like, you stole the book. I'm like, I was really upset because she was nuts, and I thought what what Light was doing was trying to be, righteous and take down the bad guys, and she's over here killing the good guys, and I'm like, she just made him look bad. Now she stole the book, and she's trying to kill you. You better figure out something.
My second favorite thing is Lakeith Stanfield as L. I think he's so fun. I love Lakeith. I think he's great. You got to see him in interviews where people interviewed Lakeith about his role as L in this movie, and he acted like L in the interview, and he would sit with his legs up on the chair and his hands over his knees. It was so cringeworthy, but it was just so delightful to see a method actor. Like, I'm like, keep going, Lakeith, keep living your truth, man.
No, he played
Nick,
well.
Didn't the girl from this remind you of the girl in 9? You're just like, oh, I want to kill this woman.
Oh, that girl in 9? Oh, man.
9 Dead? Yeah, 9 Dead.
9 Dead, I don't know that movie.
Yeah, you do. We watched it together.
What? 9
We
Dead?
watched the double feature. We watched Circle, and then we watched 9 Dead. It's the one where there are 9 people in a room, and the guy walks in, asks him a question, then shoots each person.
Yeah, why are you here?
Isn't that called The Exam?
No, that's another one.
That's
in
a
the
different
room.
movie.
No. Isn't that the same movie?
No,
though?
they're all pretty similar.
Yeah. Why are you here? No.
Oh, wait, that does sound familiar.
Yeah, when they're all in that little
forgettable.
chamber.
That question, though, why are you here?
And the gay guy in there, and he's like, he's the funniest one in there. Come on, how can you forget that guy?
Yeah. Oh,
that's a good reason.
And then he shoots him.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That movie is so forgettable. Oh my gosh,
So fun.
That college film. Oh my gosh, that movie. That's so funny that you said it is called 9 Dead. What a forgettable title.
So good.
I didn't remember. I thought it was called The Nine, so I tried to tell it to people, and they're like, the cartoon? I'm like, no, man, I think it's like not a cartoon.
I thought, the Ragdoll Tim Burton thing, 9.
I'm like, no, man, I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty, intense.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but the chick in the movie, man, Mia or whatever, she got what was coming to her. I mean,
yeah, I love the manipulation. I think it's.
I thought that whole thing coming together when he was explaining it, to his dad about how it all went down.
And did anyone get the Shinigami eyes? Does that ever happen in this movie?
No.
Yeah, they talked about it, and they never pays off, right? They do talk about it, or did they not even talk about it?
I don't think they talk about it, Ty.
I don't even think they mentioned it.
Well, like I said, I feel like some of the rules, I'm like, I don't remember. I have to go back and watch the original anime series, because it feels like some of the rules were different. And also the motivation of Ryuk, like, he's like, I am going to give it... He sounded like his mission was to keep giving the book to people. And I just thought he just did it because he was bored. At least that's what happened in the...
In the TV series, he's bored. He's like, they're just living perpetually in this purgatory. So out of entertainment, he goes and finds the human planet, and he's like,
and he just randomly drops it.
Fascinated by these people. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
He randomly lets Light pick it up.
And I feel that too. Maybe that's all part of his plan too. Like, because he says at the end, humans are so interesting. It's the same thing.
He does mention it. Right.
So
he's fascinated. It's kind of like, I mean, imagine you go to like a zoo and you're like, I'm just gonna go mess with the animals.
Exactly.
I have a higher intelligence.
I think he was purposely stirring the pot to put fear in him, to put anger in him. I think it was all part of his plan.
He's a lot like Loki in that regard, where he's just a god.
Exactly. He's causing mischief. He's just causing problems.
The Grim Reaper kind of type.
Exactly.
Well,
he doesn't care what happens because he sets something in motion, and then he lets Light decide what to do. And no matter what, he's always laughing, so he's having a great freaking time.
Well, and I thought the book essentially, if somebody wrote it down, it wasn't like Ryuk went out and did that, because he was like, if you saw his hands, it was looking like he was using the Force to like make the Ferris wheel fall apart. Like, it looked like he was like...
I know. I'm like, is he commanded?
Yeah.
It doesn't make
So
sense.
I think
didn't
in the
understand that.
movie, it doesn't really show. It just shows that he can be involved if he wants to. It sounds like in the movie. Because like in the first death and things, he just kind of stood there, didn't do anything. And then in some of them, he was actually manipulating how the things worked out. So I think he just kind of comes and goes as he pleases. Like, I got the powers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I just would have liked more of his motivation. I would have liked a payoff where it was like, okay, this demon that brought me this, is this a blessing or a curse? And it's like, it's okay. You can get away with murder and your life will be hunky-dory. I don't know. Like, does that make sense? Like, I was kind of hoping for this great reveal where it's like, Ryuk was like, oh, every time you've been writing your name in the death note, part of your soul is being kept in this hourglass of mine. I don't know, just something. Like, because, like, I just feel like his motive, it was like, so why do any of this? Like, why does it matter? Why should we care? Like, anyway, that's all.
I think he could have
biggest
used the
gripe.
book for massive profit. Think about one of those private black ops types groups, that go out and assassinate people.
could
Think
be a
about it,
hired
man.
contractor
Yeah,
from the
exactly. You
government,
keep it
the
under.
CIA,
Nobody
yeah,
knows
FBI.
how you do it or what you do.
Nick,
You just get things
so
done.
Nick,
$1 million
in the TV series,
ahead. Boom, boom,
Ty,
boom.
did you get a little bit further after?
A certain character? Yeah, no. I
Okay,
don't
well,
think
so there actually is a group of people that this main leader guy of this underground group has the book, and he essentially does it for corporate gain, and he like writes down
I
names.
do remember the corporate group. Yeah.
So,
there's a corporation that they're like, if a partner does something bad financially, like we get rid of him.
Yeah.
It's like we can vote him off the board, and they're like, oh, this is what happens when a giant evil corporation gets a hold
would
of
just-
Disney, for example.
Oh
It's
my
pretty much
gosh!
how Disney operates
don't
in
even
real life.
put
Or
that
the
out
Clintons,
in the universe.
yeah.
If Disney had an actual death note,
They do, and it's owned by Mickey right now. You've been very bad. It's writing down people's names in it, dude.
That would be terrifying.
Gosh, I'm trying to think of it. Disney. Oh, who is that one? There was an actor that got in trouble for saying, I think it's disgusting to mandate vaccines, and then they're like, whoa. Mickey Mouse did not like that and fired her. That's what happened. They have the death note. They just cancel. Oh, Gina Carano. Oh, you make comparisons to Jews of the Holocaust? Anti-Semite? Gets them canceled, That's freaking Mickey Mouse, dude. Gina Carano, man.
Oh, man.
Loses her spot on The Mandalorian. It's crazy. Anyway. So they already have the death note. That's what it is. This is all. So what happens if a lowly peasant, meager peasant, like a high schooler, that gets bullied? What does that kid do with it? And it's like, this is a weird, sick, twisted fantasy. And I'm like, I think there's more good in people. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe any kid that's picked on in school would totally be happy to just murder their bullies and go on.
You should be smart with it, man. Because if something like that did exist and you had that power, I wouldn't want anybody else to have that. I'm like, I'm holding on to this till I die. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to try to profit off it.
I wanted to ask you, yeah. So Nick, I love you, man. You're like, I'll take it for a profit motive.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll go to the CIA, and then I'll be like, I have this power.
I wouldn't even tell him that. I'd be like, listen,
I'll
be like, listen, man. The price is right. Don't ask me how I can do it, but I will get it done. And I'll do one for free right now. Give me a name, give me a picture. And then, 24 hours later, I come back. Did you hear the news? He's gone. Okay, now let's talk about my price.
Let's talk about
$1 million ahead.
They're like, hey, how do we know that you had anything to do with it? And be like, give me another person in this room. Choose someone.
Yeah, you want to choose someone in this room.
And just threaten
The
them.
secretary's like, what?
They'll just shoot a bullet in your head, Nick, and then take your notebook.
Yeah, they won't know I have the notebook. No one can ever know that. And he told that girl way too quickly. It was too easy. Like, what is that? I can't tell you. Maybe do you really want to know? And then he just takes her in there. I'm like, whoa, you just got this thing. You don't even understand it. And you're sharing
he
it.
told her way too early.
Yeah, you're talking about Rust relations. I mean, again, like, right? They were trying to make Light more relatable in this series, where you're like, oh, he's bullied. He has a dead mother. And he has a tough father life. And then, like, but the father just made up really easy. He's just like, I love you, son. Like, immediately after he starts murdering people, he's like, I just know it's not you that's a serial killer on the loose. I just feel close to my son. It's like, your son is the killer. Yeah. Anyway, it's so laughable. Yeah, it's just so laughable. So I did like, there's literally a chase scene in this movie where Light is being chased by Elle, and I don't know. It's
I
funny.
love it. The music's great. I disagree.
It's
great.
kind of exciting,
awesome.
but it's like, I don't know. Like, What was really cool about the TV show is it was again, I'm sorry to compare it all. We should
Yes.
separate them. But ultimately, it's like they tried to make it exciting with an actual chase. But in the other one, it was like they were just in a room together talking, and it was like they were playing 4D chess. They were literally trying to find out a motive. Elle was convinced it was Light, and he had to like deduce how he was doing this. It was just so much more exciting, and it didn't involve an actual foot race chase. Like they're literally running, and there is no world in which Lakeith isn't a faster runner than our boy Wolf. I'm sorry.
Well, I did like that. I did like that first.
Well, he
meeting
did
when
catch him, but then somebody stopped and intervened.
Right. Yes, because he wrote it in the book, man. Or maybe not. Maybe he wrote.
I
he
think
didn't write. You're right. He didn't write in the book.
Yeah.
The guy just knew he was Kira.
Somebody just knew the guy yelled, "Oh, that's Kira," which I don't
exactly.
think he should have said, but
Yeah, definitely not good.
that reminded me of the scene, Ty, from Joker when like all the people get involved and start fighting the police. Like I like.
So, but
that's great.
Exactly.
But yeah, that meeting
Pretty
they had.
crazy
That
what people
meeting they
do
had was great, though.
In a massive crowd.
That was great. That first meeting when they were just kind of going back and forth, you know.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other nitpicks?
Let me ask you: do you ever find out Elle's name ever, even in the anime series?
Elle's name? I don't know. I can't think of it. I think he finds it. He does find it out, I think, but I don't even know if we know it.
Yeah. The girl figures it out and she has him write it down, but I don't think.
Because what happens, Nick, you can take what's called the Shinigami eyes and half your lifespan.
Well, you know what Shinigami is? Ryuk is a Shinigami.
Okay, Shinigami is a god of death, and Ryuk is a Shinigami. And you can ask for eyes of Shinigami. You can see any person's name and how much time they have left in their life. But in order to get this gift, to have the Shinigami eyes, you have to half your lifespan. Whatever it is, the natural course of your life, it gets cut in half.
So if you were going to live 100 years, you get 50 years. Or
what's
only
so
40
great
years, you get
in the
20.
TV series, Light, how methodic and evil he is, he convinces this girl that's obsessed about him to cut her lifespan in half. It's insane, Nick. Like, he's a true sociopath in the show. It is so manipulative and so great. Because in this one, the girl seems to get the better of him.
Yeah.
Like, she's way smarter than he is.
She's
which
more,
is kinda
up until the end, and then-
until the end, true. Until the end, yeah. But again,
Greedy.
it's like, he does, greedy, exactly. But what's
She
great...
wants the power for herself.
What's so great is like Light is continuously playing 4D chess with all of the people around him. Even every single interaction he has with his family members, he's like a full-blown murderous psychopath, but it plays like a sociopath. He plays completely cool and calm. I mean, there's literally a laughable moment. I'm sure you've heard of it. He's like literally knows he's being monitored in his bedroom. He's like, I will take a potato chip and eat it. In his mind.
I love Ty. You're
he's, like,
trying to
thinking
sell
about-
Nick on the anime series.
You should definitely watch it, Nick. I'm telling you, man. It's freaking
Why do you
dope.
keep doing the eye thing? What are you doing there?
It's blowing my
Oh,
mind.
okay. I'm like,
Oh, do you think I'm doing Asian eyes?
for a second there, I thought so. I'm like, why are you doing that?
I'm like, watch it, Nick. You gotta watch
Because it looks.
You gotta-
I was like, why are you doing this?
Everybody, I'm resting my
Yeah.
hands on the table because I've had a long day and I keep pushing my eyebrows up. Nick thinks
Well, you
I'm
keep
making
saying
Asian
Shinigami
face.
eyes, and you're like pulling your eyes
Yeah,
out.
you do. You kept
Shinigami
saying that and pulling the
eyes.
eyes back. I'm like, what is happening here? So anyway,
Oh, okay, I have a nervous tick, everybody. So
That would have been really funny, though, if Light got the Shinigami eyes in this movie and it turned him Asian.
it's now played. The rest of the movie is played by a Korean.
totally just
so
flips.
funny.
Yeah.
I'm young. I was curious as to why he covered his face. Why would Elle assume that it has anything to do with his face? They explain it better in the show. Why did he do it in this movie? It's like, oh, I don't want anyone to know who I am. It's like, what? Why?
Protecting his identity.
Maybe, I
To
guess.
naturally hide his identity, but maybe he knew something. Maybe he knew the book's existence. Or
Okay,
had,
and
like,
then
an
my question was, do we
idea.
think Elle wrote down Light's name in the book? Oh, what a...
Yeah, so I was gonna say that last part when he was looking, he looked so upset, and then looked down like relieved almost, or like maybe he came to his senses. I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he came to his senses, but like he might have been able to outsmart him
but
some other
he
way.
did warn Light, if you go down this path, you will die. So if he lives up to what he said, then he should write his name in that book.
Yeah, like I said, they seriously
He offered him he offered him a fair offer.
they could have fixed this tie simply by just changing the names. I seriously think it would have been a great movie.
What? You mean like call it its own thing and not be Death? But it's like the concept
No,
is Death
be
Note.
Death Note. No, be Death Note. I'm not saying change the title. I'm talking about change the names of the characters, like not be Elle and Light.
Why does that matter?
Because it's a spin-off series, because the book keeps falling into different people's hands.
Oh, okay. Sure. So you just mean, like, it upsets you the fact that there's no other
because
light across the earth?
Well,
like,
no,
across
but because
the
you
other
keep
side of the earth?
comparing it to them, and I'm just like, it would have...
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, but even if as a Death Note story, it's not my favorite Death Note story. So it's like, imagine like you saying like, oh, like I don't know, like I almost feel like if the book had fallen into someone else, like I don't know. There's just so many avenues you could have explored, right? Because it's like you're either too similar to the anime or you're too different, and in the end, it's like, make up your mind. Either like you said, change the names. I don't think it's as simple as just changing the names. It's like, I didn't care what their names were. I just cared.
Yeah, because you compare... You
relationships to each
literally
other.
sat here the whole time talking about how, like, comparing every single thing to the TV series.
I am comparing it, but I'm just saying it doesn't have anything to do with their name. It has to do with their character decision. It has to do with the rush story. It has to do with everyone's relationship to each other. That's all. Anyway, I love what you're saying. I agree that you're like, oh, it's its own thing. This is a sequel, prequel. It's someone else's. It's like Jumanji, you know? Oh, the board game traveled halfway across the earth, and it's the people that found it at the beach, and now we're watching their story, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, Jumanji, right? Oh, now it's a video game. Somebody digitized it, or the video game just changed with the times and was like, hey, nobody's playing board games anymore. Let's transform into a video game, you know? It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So, anyway. Like, who created Jumanji? It changed on its own, you know? It's ever evolving with the times.
I think the original Jumanji was great.
Oh, it's great. I
Oh,
love
the original,
it.
and I thought the remake was fun.
And the remake was fun, yeah.
The remake was fun too. That's true. Did they do 2, right?
Yeah. I don't remember if I saw this.
I
did see
started the second
There's
one.
ostriches.
I did
and
see the
it's pretty
second one
ridiculous.
actually. I think I was bored one day and I was like, oh, it's on Jumanji 2.
First one was lightning in a bottle, in my opinion, because when you try to milk something 2 times in a row, it's like, Again, bad use of Kevin Hart, trying to make him as awesome as Donald Glover or Danny Glover. Danny Glover. He's fine. It's just like very muted Kevin Hart, and I'm like, Kevin Hart's he's like a ball of energy. Why would you have him be Danny Glover's character? Make him The Rock. Or Jack Black. Anyway, Kevin Hart. It was a waste of Kevin Hart in Jumanji 2. That's all I'm saying. Kevin Hart's great.
That's okay. All he did was scream the whole time in Jumanji, so I'm okay with that.
Jack Black. He was the funniest one.
Well, he
stole
was,
the show.
obviously.
He and The Rock. Yeah, they stole the show. So,
Yeah.
and I don't even like The Rock necessarily.
Why?
Well, I kind of do. I like him as much as the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Does that make sense? Like,
Well, what does that?
he's a
What
kind
does
of
that mean?
It means I don't know if he has range, but I love what he does when he does it. Does that make sense? Like
Range.
I don't watch him.
Love Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't need to have range. Look at him.
Okay, so you admit he doesn't have range.
No, I didn't say he doesn't have it. I'm saying he doesn't
but
need
you're like,
to
he
have
doesn't
it.
need it.
But, and he's played a lot of different roles. I don't even want to get into it. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I love him.
I'll
I'm
be
just saying,
back.
like, I love
Yes,
him
you
for different
will.
reasons.
He's been back a lot, too. Governor of California, movie star.
Oh, real quick, do you guys have any quotes from the show or the movie? Yeah, I can't think of any off my
There's a
hand.
lot. But
Well, I mean, because most of the lines were delivered better in the TV series. I will admit that.
You're the one who flew into the sun. I'm just here to make sure you burn. That was cool. I like Lakeith. I think he's a great actor. I want to see him keep getting work. He was really weird in that one movie. Oh my gosh, what was that weird movie Jordan? Wasn't Get Out. He was in Get Out. Oh, Jordan, it was I'm Sorry to Bother You. You remember that movie, Jordan? With Lakeith? I'm Sorry to Bother You, the freaking third act for the horses. Holy shiz. I'm like, Cameron, what the fudge am I watching? Lakeith, I hope you keep getting work. You were my favorite part of this movie. Would you recommend Adam Weingard's Death Note?
Listen, if you like The Guest and you like
You're Next.
and you haven't
If you like Final
seen the anime
Destination.
version of Death Note, then I recommend it. If not, I mean, if you've seen the anime version, then and you love that, and you don't want it to be ruined, then yes, I don't recommend it.
Nice.
But
Nice.
like Nick, who hasn't seen the anime version,
If you like whiny high school movies and wish they had the power of God,
or
watch this.
if
show.
you're a fan of Final Destination movies, then this is definitely up
If
your
you
alley.
ever wondered what that emo that sits at the back of your class that you like to make fun of was thinking about you, and if he was all powerful and had the ability to murder you, this is that movie. So fills in the gaps for you. Hello, Cameron. Cameron jumped on real quick to share his final thoughts about the Final Destination. Oh, excuse me, Death Note.
I don't know why Jordan wants to hear my opinion, but just like Jordan said, if you fetching watch the animated series, this is garbage. Absolute
So I don't think we needed to hear his opinion on this one. And
Don't worry, Cameron.
we're just
I
gonna
gave
go
the
and
one,
cut that
too,
out.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because now
Cameron. I was here to defending the show, and I couldn't separate them. I really can't.
No.
And Jordan made a good point. He's like, just enjoy it as a separate movie.
Yes,
and I
enjoy
still
it as a
love
separate movie.
That's something I can't do on this, and that's probably
can't do
my
it.
fatal
Yeah.
flaw.
Well,
but it's
See, this is
hard
why I
Yeah.
can't watch the anime now because I don't want the movie
to
be
ruin what you already have.
You don't want to like
Yeah.
it more than the movie. If
Well,
you like the
I don't
movie
know
so
if
much,
I
Nick,
will,
watch
man,
it.
because I'm pretty opposed to like anime and manga and whatever else it's called. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta pull teeth
As
just to get me to
someone that
watch
doesn't watch
foreign
anime,
films.
as someone that doesn't watch anime, do you like detective movies?
It's
I mean,
very cat
sure.
and mouse, Nick. I hate it.
Sure.
And Jordan's like,
It
I
is-
have this show that's really cool to show you. And he's like, but it has subtitles. And I was like, no, you lost me. And then he made me watch the first episode. And I'm like, all right, we're finishing this series.
Oh, and it's got subtitles.
No,
See?
No. It's an
There
English
is-
dub.
There's
oh,
English
yeah.
dub.
It's
Listen,
actually
man.
very well done.
It
The
is.
only
Well done.
the only reason that I can do English dub like Squid Game is because half the time people were wearing masks and you didn't even tell, and it was like, and plus Squid Game.
You watched
plus
Squid Game with English dub? What's wrong with you, Nick?
What?
No, he read it.
No, I didn't. What do you
Oh,
mean?
so you watched it?
No, I watched
You
it.
said you watched it English dub, or did you watch it?
I
with
did
subtitles?
watch it English dubbed. Yes.
Oh no!
I told you, Jordan. I told you.
Yes, I did.
Nick, we love you, but we're very disappointed.
Well, dude, you can't read the, and you know what? I tried putting the subtitles on, but
You
it
can't
didn't
read.
match up, man. It didn't match up. It didn't make sense.
Well,
Okay.
because they have to match their lips.
Yeah,
Nick,
well,
that's why.
it was garbage. Whatever. I couldn't do the words because I'm like, and at least with the masks, half the time you couldn't tell, and whatever. It doesn't. We won't get too far into it, but
So, quick question though. See, it was great, Nick. If you watch it with subtitles, you watch all the Korean actors and they're speaking Korean, and then all of a sudden, fetching Americans come in, and they were so abysmal at acting. It really took me
Yeah,
out of the
it
show.
was tough,
and
but
I can't imagine what it was
I
like for
still
you to just
loved
watch
it,
all
dude,
the
because
things.
it
Maybe
was
they
so.
didn't stand
Guess
out.
what? It was
Yeah.
so freaking good. It didn't even matter. Okay, none of the words.
You like
I just,
Squid
that, you know what? After like the first episode, it just became second thought, and I didn't even care anymore. I was just
Yeah.
so glued to it.
It's so fun that you watched it, Nick. I'm surprised you like. Well, I'm not surprised you liked it.
Oh yeah, I binged
don't
it,
know
dude.
too
I
many
finished
people
it
that did
all
like it.
in. You know, well, I stayed up late watching Squid Game.
Oh, that's right. We talked. Yeah, that's right. That's
I
right.
couldn't
You did.
stop. I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta know the freaking. I gotta know the games, and for me, it was just I want to know all the games. You know.
Right. It does have that clinger where you're like, oh, like
What's the
there's
next
gonna be a
one,
game every
man?
episode. Yeah.
You
Like,
people
what's
are
the next one?
dying, you gotta
And you're all
get
saying,
done.
like everyone watching it was like, I bet I could survive it, or what? They're like, which number do you choose, 1 or 16? You're like, 16. Pick number 16, my
Yeah.
lord.
Yeah.
Like, please. And
that
then
one guy fetching begging, please. I've always let other people decide my fate.
Dude, if that would have been me though, I would have
I've
died.
always been undecisive. I want to choose to be number one. And then he's like, oh,
I would have died in that situation, man, because naturally I would have gone for the middle, which was the loser spot. I would have died.
Oh yeah.
I would have naturally ran
You
for the
would have
middle.
been right next to
I'd be
the
like, I don't
snake
know.
tattoo
I'm
face.
just gonna go right in the middle. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you'd be right next to Snake Tattoo Face.
Nick, you could have just grabbed people and thrown them in front of you, like the guy with the tattoo.
I'm small, and those
Until
guys are
one
all
of them
big.
grabbed- until one of them latched onto you. And
Yeah, the
said,
big
"Babe,
guy
we're
would
going
just
down
toss me
together."
out the thing. I'd be dead.
I'm not taking another step forward until someone steps on the pain.
And I love how she just grabbed him and just. I like how we just totally digressed and went somewhere else with this.
I
but-
know, right? Yeah.
Well, Squid Game is
That's
so
how
good.
good
Yeah,
Squid Game
Squid
is.
Game.
Sorry, Death
Yeah.
Note.
We talked
Squid
about it,
Game
yeah.
is. the
It is. It's so good. Nick, okay, wait. I have to know between the shapes, which one would you have chosen? You know, the square, circle.
I probably would have done the circle, but
Yeah, I would have chosen one of the square, circle, or
chosen
triangle. I would not have done
umbrella.
umbrella. I know for a fact I would not have chosen umbrella. I know for a
But
fact.
dude, if
I
you knew
remember
how the
thinking
game
that.
worked, no matter
Right,
what the
right.
shape was, it would have been fine. You just had
it
to
would have been
lick it
tricky.
and just.
Yeah, but I mean,
Not everyone thought.
Not
of
everybody
that.
thought
and
of
everyone
that.
was terrified because if you like bit into it or did something wrong, or they like saw you licking it and they shot you in the head, they didn't know what was acceptable and what wasn't. Like that one person heating up their needle trying to poke the hole. I'm like, that was probably against the rules, and they probably would have killed them if they saw.
They
them
didn't
doing
say anything
it, but-
about it. They just
Yeah, they
said you
didn't say
must
anything.
remove it without
Well,
breaking
they
it.
hid it. I know, but they hid it. Remember,
under
they were
the
hiding under the
slide.
slide to do it because they.
Well, they didn't know, but still.
I know, but see, that's my point. Is like, do you want to take that chance and like hold up your lighter and be like, "Can I use this?" And then they just take it out of your hands, or just shoot you in the head? Like, Well, that's a clear, obvious no.
Wasn't in the rules.
Apparently
Didn't say
taking
you
your
can't
mask
use a
off was in the
lighter.
rules, yeah.
Well, but the mask off was for we didn't learn all the rules for the other guys.
Yeah,
we
they
did.
have a whole
There was
set.
list.
They have a different set of rules. The players have a set of rules. Anyway.
Oh, Nick, real quick, I want to blow your mind. You know how it was really cool? There's a fan theory about, the guy that meets you and you play the slapping tile game where you have to turn the card over. Turns out if you were the one that grabbed the red card, you might have been the one that goes into the fortress with the mask, the pink jumpsuit. But if you were the one that grabbed the blue card, you became one of the participants in the game. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know for sure, but so maybe it was possible that all the people working there were also as financially in debt as everybody else playing the games.
It would make sense.
Heard that, and I was
It would make sense,
It would make
yeah.
sense why people would go along with it. And I was like, that's a very apt conclusion, because in the end, it's like, why not, right? Like, why would anyone like willingly choose this job? Like, I mean, it's crazy. It's like, is it good pay? I don't know. Do they have dental? Like, I have no idea.
Well, you know what's
It's
another interesting thing in that show too is did the old guy, I was telling Jordan, did the old guy choose the winner? Because you remember he took his jacket off, his 01 jacket, and he gave it to player number 456. And I think he was in there manipulating the game the whole time. But then the 456 wore the number 1 jacket. So it's interesting theory to did the old guy manipulate the game and select the winner of the game ahead of time?
All I know is that he was handcuffed or he wasn't handcuffed to that tug of rope, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Well,
because holy crap, he would have gone over the edge. Or someone
I
said
didn't
that he
even
actually
know
wasn't
the
cuffed to
guy, the
rope.
old guy was in on it until the very end. I was like, what the? Everybody
Pretty
seemed to
fun
have
twist.
guessed. Everybody that I talked to, they're like, did the old guy in it? I'm like, how is everybody guessing this? This totally blew my mind. I didn't know. I thought he was just
No,
some dumb
people
old
just-
guy.
People
See,
just
I
see
think
memes
that's
online. They have it spoiled
Yeah, I think
and
that's
they know ahead
people.
of
Yeah,
time.
heard it because there's no way you could have just like. I mean,
Yeah,
the
there's
only
no way.
thing that like kind of gives it away is the fact that like they're all games that he's good at and he's number 1. But even then, like he's way too like involved to be like, oh yeah, this guy's running it.
Well, we talked about this, like how likely it would have been that he survived the games regardless. I mean, like he's an old guy. Like, was he so confident in his ability to cut out his shape without dying?
I think at this point, maybe he didn't care as much.
Yeah, well, because
know.
we ultimately decided that in the end, he said the thrill of living is gone.
Yeah.
So he actually liked the idea that he was playing for his life. Like it was whatever gets. Man, you crazy old coot. What a crazy guy. Would you guys recommend Death Note?
I did recommend it to like 4 people who all saw the anime and told me to F off, okay?
Yeah, so everyone should be aware, right? Yeah. You're like, hey, go see Death Note. They're like, oh, I love that.
And I'm like, well, the heck with all you guys, man. Whatever. So I'm done. I love the movie, but I especially cannot recommend it to anybody that looks even half nerd, okay? Because
Yeah.
it's likely
They'll
they've
bite
seen
your
the
head off,
anime
dude.
and they're going to just destroy me. They're like, you're an idiot. And I'm like,
What's wrong with him?
you know.
Do you even have a soul?
I know we're probably gonna get a lot of hate for. I mean, me and Nick and I'll lose a lot of credibility for loving the Death Note movie. I'm sorry.
I had no credibility to begin with, so it's whatever.
No, I'll get canceled for other reasons because I wasn't upset about the whitewashing. In fact, I prefer my movies with only white people. So anyway, let's
Well,
let's
that's
end this
terrible.
podcast. Guys, I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. It's
Can't
called
say
a
stuff like
joke.
that. Hopefully this doesn't blow up. You'll ruin your career. You're done before you even knew it. I hope you don't ever run for like politics or anything, you know. You're gone.
I hope I don't run for politics.
They'll just make a mashup of our podcast and just show all the moments Ty said offensive things.
Yeah. Line up all of it. I'll take it all on. Be like, wow, Ty's a racist. And I'll be like, you know what? I've changed my ways. And then they'll say, forgiveness is not an option. Then I'll say, point me to the gulag. I'll take my mice and gruel with my awesome slippers. Do we get bathrobes in the gulag? My goodness.
Nick, anything you're looking forward to before you go? And plug those shoes.
I want to see that new Halloween movie, kind of. Was it good?
Ooh, I saw it.
Oh, I know
it's
you
good.
saw it because you told me, because I was going through the movies on the list, and you're like, oh, saw that.
Yeah,
What a
007
nerd.
saw it.
Took me off.
Halloween saw it.
Do you have a rewards program through your movie theater? Because you must just get like free stuff from them. They probably send you crap, just like, thanks, keep coming.
Keeping us in business.
Anyway.
Duran goes on $5 Tuesday. That's how he gets fined.
No, I don't. I need to.
I know, I'm not patient enough. I talked to someone. I was like, I got tickets to Dune. I'm like, yeah, when are you going? He's like, well, I'm going
Tuesday's
Tuesday,
the
so
one
it's
day he
$5. I'm
doesn't
like,
go because
oh.
that's $5 Apple buy day. That's when you
Wait, did you get your ticket, Nick? You better got your ticket. You going to Dune?
What?
Are you going to Dune? Did you get your ticket?
I don't need. Why?
I thought you were going to go see it.
I am.
He wants to wait and see if it's good.
Buy those tickets. Get to go see it.
Oh. Okay. Yay.
Everybody, leave us an email, futromovies@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. Check us out on Instagram, Spotify, Patreon. We all love you so much. Leave us a 5-star review. Tell us a movie that you like us to review in the past. Send your hate to Jordan and Nick.
No.
Because they like this movie. It's indefensible.
I already got enough of it.
Plug your
Plug
shoes.
those shoes.
Oxit, hit us up.
Oxit.
Peace.
Perfect. Thanks, Nick. Future Hit Movie Gems. Later. Bye. Peace.
Bye.